Good morning. It is Monday when I'm recording this. New start to the week, fresh day, fresh week, and I'm kicking off the week with talking about body image and weight loss. So, most 9 times out of 10, my clients come to me with the wanting to lose weight. Okay, I'm sure that is no surprise to you that people come to me wanting to lose weight. Hi, Mike. So what do I think about this? The first thing I ask my clients that want to lose weight is, what has stopped you from losing weight so far, and why do you want to lose weight? It's that magic word, why. And the answers I get are very similar. And surprisingly, I have been in this place so many times before that I've lost count, right? So the typical answer is, I don't know why I can't stick to anything. I have no willpower and I always seem to self-sabotage. But the thing is, as soon as you focus on how much you desperately want to lose weight and how much you desperately need to lose weight, and put in place all these regimented routines, all these diets, all these rules that you set yourself in an attempt to achieve this weight loss, it feels like you're constantly fighting. And you are fighting because you're fighting against yourself and your biology as well. And biology always wins, by the way. I've got something in my eye. And then you end up like falling off the quote wagon that you've put yourself on, binge eating, emotional eating, and then most of the time you do it on purpose because you're like self-sabotaging. You're saying screw you to the diet police. And the diet police, by the way, is you in your own head. And there is a way to overcome this, I promise. So just let me explain. Most people think the problem here is their body weight, is their body size, right? But the actual real problem isn't their body size or their body weight. It's what they think about their body. It's what they think, the relationship they have towards themselves and their body. So we need to heal our relationship with our bodies before we can think of changing our bodies or losing weight or anything like that. And I know most people want to go in the opposite way, like lose weight first and then work on the relationship with the body. But it doesn't work like that, because then you're going to be in that yo-yo diet binge cycle like for the rest of your life. And I want for you to desperately be in a position where the weight of your body or your body size doesn't even matter anymore. I'm at this stage now, and let me tell you, it is so freeing, and this is why I do what I do, because ultimate body and food freedom frees up so much space in your life and just brings in so much joy and happiness, because you're not constantly like having to give all your time and energy on counting calories or macros or whatever it is you're doing. So how do we then start to heal our relationship with our bodies? It all starts with you. And I say this a lot, everything happens from the inside out. It never happens from the outside in. So I'm going to start off by saying how important it is to not hate yourself. And I know that sounds pretty obvious, right? But how many times do you feel like dislike towards yourself? More often than not, when people go on a diet or start counting calories, etc., they feel huge amounts of guilt and shame and frustration towards themselves because they don't have enough willpower to stick to it, right? So when I ask my clients the question, why, again, that magic word, why do you so desperately want to lose weight? The answer is usually because they think they will be more accepted, they'll have more opportunities, they'll be liked more by their boyfriends or girlfriends and their friends. They'll be loved more. They think that being smaller physically, they'll become more valued as a person. And they haven't just made that up from thin air. That's through conditioning, through society, through people, through advertisements. So there's a reason why people think that, but that's what they often think. When they lose weight, weight loss equals happiness. And when I first heard this, it used to annoy me when I heard this, because I was like, well, no, because I am happier when I lose weight. And I'm going to be that annoying person telling you that, trust me, it doesn't just bring happiness. It's a lot deeper than that. So what tends to happen is when people have reached their ideal weight, they put all the weight back on again and even more weight. So yes, you go on a diet, you reach your ideal, thank you, Mike, it is true. You reach your ideal body weight, right? And then how long have you stayed at your quote ideal body weight for? Maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, maybe even a couple of years. Okay, you may have even stayed there for a couple of years. I managed to stay at a very low body weight for a couple of years. But then if I look back to whenever I've like quote fell off the wagon, I always end up back at the same size. So like just think for a moment about your life and your diet history and how long have you actually kept the weight off for? Okay, so people think that when they reach their weight loss goal, everything else in their life just falls into place, and then all the magic will happen, all these little fairies will come and sprinkle all fairy dust over you and everything will be fine. It doesn't happen like that, right? It doesn't magically change your life, it doesn't magically make you a better person, and all it does is this, I'll be happy when I've lost the weight, or even in regards to not weight loss, I'll be happy when I earn this amount, or I'll be happy when I reach a partner, right? That leaves you with an empty feeling, and you're basically putting your life on hold. And then that empty feeling when you reach your your goal weight, leads you turn into food, because one, it's what you've always done. Two, you've restricted for so long. So to get to your weight loss goal, you've restricted for so long, and so you just go mental and consume the whole aisle 5 of the supermarket, right? So on the long term here, we need to be looking at long term goals. If you want to lose excess weight, and I say the word excess because everyone has a healthy set point weight. If you're constantly dieting and binging, you don't know what your set point weight is. Your set point weight is when you choose healthful foods from a place of wanting your body to feel good. You move your body every day because you want to, and you eat what you want, when you want, and you listen to your hunger. That's when your body will find its healthiest natural weight, and more often than not, it's lower than what you are if you're constantly binging and restricting. That's another topic altogether, but I just wanted to explain what I mean about your set point weight. So where was I? With beliefs. It starts with beliefs. So changing your body, changing your perception, changing your weight loss story, your binging story, whatever. It starts with your beliefs. Okay, so if you're stuck in a place of self-sabotage, you need to get to a place in your body and in your relationship with yourself where the weight doesn't matter anymore. It's more about how you feel about yourself. And when you reach this, and you can reach this, if you are coachable and you want this, if you want to be free around your body, if you want to love your body and not just put everything onto what size clothes you wear, you absolutely can get out of this. You can release yourself from the prison, I like to call it. So when I work with my clients, everyone that comes to me has the key for their own freedom in their pocket, right? But they don't know where the F that key is in their pocket. It's my job to show them, or to show you, how to, first of all, where that key is, and then how to access that key, take it out of your pocket, and then actually unlock the cage and then walk out. And it sounds a bit strange, but everyone has the key to anything they desire within themselves, but they need help reaching that, especially if you're like stuck on the diet binge cycle, for example, or you're stuck hating your body every day, constantly wishing you want to lose weight. It starts with our beliefs. So let me just briefly explain what beliefs are. Beliefs are thoughts you have about yourself over and over again. And some external experiences or other people contribute to these beliefs, right? Or even give you these beliefs, because you just don't make them up from nowhere. You weren't born just hating your body. We were all born loving ourselves. I say that a lot, but it's so true. But until we were 8 years old, excuse me if I'm wrong with, maybe it might be 7 or 9, but from the research I've done, around 8 years old, until then, our brain functions at a frequency of when we meditate now as adults. So what that means is We absorb everything we see, hear, experience straight into our subconscious mind, which is why our childhood has such a huge effect on us as adults. Okay, so everything we see, hear, experience until the age of 8, we accept as beliefs, as the truth. So your childhood experience does have such a big effect on how you think as an adult. So the beliefs you have about yourself are the invisible force behind all of your actions. And if you wonder, why do I always self-sabotage? Why do I always fall for the wrong guy, for example? It's because of the beliefs you have about what you are not worthy of, what you are worthy of, and what you find attractive in life. And then you attract these things into your life. There's no question about this. You've heard me talk about this. We attract what we believe about ourselves. It's because that is through the law of attraction, and that is the law. It's like the law of gravity. Do you understand exactly what gravity is? Or do you understand exactly what electricity is, or where it comes from, or how we just switch a light switch and there you go? I'm guessing no, unless you're Albert Einstein, like reincarnated. So the law of attraction is an actual thing, just because we can't physically see it. Quantum physics proves it all. So I have loads more blogs on that. So just feel free to explore that. But I like to say that your beliefs are the glass ceiling of your potential. If you don't think you're capable of achieving something, you won't. You know that old saying, if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right. And there's something so powerful about that, because you will only go as far as your beliefs allow you to go. If you have an inner wound, for example, about the weight that you're carrying, or you don't like your body image, if you're conscious of that, if you're ashamed of that, that's going to stop you moving forward. Even if you're standing there saying to me, Victoria, I don't want to feel shameful about my body. I don't want to binge eat. I don't want to constantly be thinking about food and body image all day. Until you learn to release these feelings and beliefs about yourself, you're going to stay stuck. So I've got a little exercise that you guys can work through to help you figure out where you are, and then get these beliefs changed to start working towards self-love and working towards body acceptance. Because first of all, we have to become aware of what's going on inside ourselves to heal these wounds before we can then write a new story for ourselves, right? Because just to remind you that you are the author of your own story, and until you grasp that, we'll always be blaming people, places, circumstances as to why we're stuck. So it all comes to getting yourself out of victim mode and becoming a victor in your life instead. And some of us like to be in victim mode. Some of us don't even know we're in victim mode. And victim mode is when you're just blaming everyone else apart from yourself. Even your circumstances, no matter how traumatic, if you're blaming whatever happened to you in the past for how you are now, that's in victim mode. So this has happened to you. We can't change the past. There is no past, right? All we have is the present, and we can create our future. So if you decide that you're going to take full responsibility for your life, then we can start to look at changing our beliefs. So who do you want to be, and where are you now? Why is my computer froze? My computer's froze. Oh no, it's back. Sorry guys. Anyway, who do you want to be, and where are you now, right? When my clients and myself work on who we are now and where we want to be, we bridge the gap in between where we are now and where we want to be. So like I said, you're only going to go as far as you believe you can. If we're talking and you're here and you want to be here, but you don't believe in yourself that with help and support you don't have to know the how, just the belief that you can get to here. You need to first of all believe that you can, else you won't be able to do the work necessary to get there, which is why it's so important to work with a coach. So I want you to get your journals out, or watch this video when I repost it, or if you can do it now, great, and write down the words A, P, S. And we're going to go through that. So the first word, A, is acknowledge. So first of all, we need to acknowledge your feelings and why you got hurt and what happened. So thinking about your body image, what is it about your body image that you don't like about yourself? It can be like your nose, your teeth, your tummy, just generally your whole body, whatever's coming up for you, just think about that for a moment and acknowledge, because we cannot argue with reality and we can't change what we cannot acknowledge. So first of all, acknowledge where you are and how you're feeling, right? If you're fighting with reality, you're never going to get anywhere. First of all, we need to acknowledge and accept where we are. And again, I'll say this time and time again, acceptance doesn't mean you have to like it. It just means you have to stop fighting. I love to give an image to my clients of, imagine a tug of war rope, right? And you're one end of the rope, like tugging, and your body is the other side of the rope tugging. You're tugging against yourself. So I like them to just visualize them dropping the rope, walking up to your body, giving her a big cuddle, saying I'm sorry, saying that I love you, and then take her hand and then like walk forwards together to achieve what you want to achieve together. You can't change from a place of hate, only from a place of love. So number one, with the acknowledgement, write down what happened in the past to cause you to have this belief about your body. It may be loads of little different things that happened to you. It may be something that you saw happen to somebody else. Whatever sticks out in your mind now, write down what happened to you. Then number two, write down how this made you feel. So someone might have called you fat, for example. So that was what happened. You can describe the scenario in your head or on paper. Number two, how did this make you feel? Ashamed, embarrassed, angry, write down that. And then number three, acknowledge this and tell yourself it was okay to feel this way and perfectly reasonable to feel this way. And revisit that feeling that you felt and just let yourself feel it. Give the feeling a colour, a name, like where do you feel it in your body? Feel that and then let it go, and then go back to your younger self and be like, it's okay to have felt this way. So you're acknowledging where this core belief around your body image comes from. Number two, the word for the letter P. So we've got A for acknowledge. P is perception. So your perception can either be your power or your prison, right? So it obviously makes sense to have our perception as our power, not our prison. Unless you want to be in victim mode, then of course you will choose to have it as your prison, and that is only up to you. You can read all the books, you can listen to all the podcasts, but unless you choose to step up and be like, right, I want better for myself and I'm going to do the work necessary to get there with help and guidance, or just by taking responsibility for yourself, either or. But your perception, let's talk about that. So we've acknowledged where this feeling around your body images come from, revisited your younger self and gave her some words of compassion and been like, that's okay to feel this way. So let's talk about our perception then. So let's give ourselves a different way to look at the situation from a different perspective. This is where mindset is so powerful. Mindset is everything. Your thoughts create your ultimate reality. And I am going to do another talk episode, whatever you want to call it, about the thought model and how that actually makes sense in real life. So that's another thing. But ultimately, your thoughts create your reality, and your thoughts are mindset, how you look at things, your perception, right? So this is how we grow and change and move from a place where we're stuck, because we need to look at our situation from a different perspective. So if you really can't be positive about your reality at the moment, at least try to be neutral about it. Sometimes that is often the case. If you're feeling really upset about your body, you can't just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to have a new belief and I feel amazing and sexy and wonderful. That can be too much of a gap. So you can get the closest neutral even thought. So it's like called bridging your thoughts. So if you feel like you can't stand your, nose, for example, then instead of saying my nose is perfect and I love it, that might be too hard to believe for you right now. What's the closest thought you can have that can get you from a place of thinking I hate my nose to, well, actually my nose isn't that bad, it makes me who I am. And only you really can answer that for yourself. So that's why coaching is so powerful, because I can ask you the right questions for you to find your own answers. So let's change our perception from negative to positive, or at least if you can't feel comfortable with the positive, let's go with the neutral, okay? So when someone calls you fat, for example, and I use the word fat as a descriptor word because it is, to me, calling someone fat is the same as calling someone thin or blonde or brunette or short or tall. It's only because of the way society uses the word fat and how they scare us to death with the word fat that it becomes an insulted word. So to me, it's not. So how can you reframe this from a different perspective? So let's say someone called you fat when you were younger. Again, with the A, with the acknowledgement, where did that first belief come from? Someone called you fat. How did that make you feel? Shameful, embarrassed of your body. Go back to younger self. It's okay to feel that way. No wonder you feel that way. That's step one. Step two is perception. Let's change our perception. Let's change this then. So someone called you fat and you felt shame. Let's have a look at this from a different way. So if that person called you that, they may have been having a bad day. They could be jealous of you, so they have to bring you down in order to make themselves feel better. Because again, you've heard me say this a lot of times to you. Whatever anybody says about you, out loud or to themselves, has everything to do with them and not you. So what other people say about you is nothing to do with you. It's about them. So looking at this story of being called fat when you were younger and changing it, flipping it around to a different perception, how can that person might not even meant what they said? Like everything can be looked at from a different angle. So what can you look at? How can you look at your belief from a different perception, right? And then that leads me on to the last one, which is the S, which is story. So now it's time to rewrite a story for yourself. Because when I say that we decide what we believe in our life and we create our ultimate reality, it really does come down to you deciding what do you want to believe about yourself. Because whatever you believe about yourself becomes true for you. So let's rewrite. Oh my gosh, why can't I say that word? Let's rewrite another story for yourself. So going from the steps we've just gone through, again, get your journal out and do this video again with your journal for yourself. It's a lot more powerful. For example, around this body image, around being called fat when you were younger, your new story could be: there are many people with many different body types, smaller than mine, bigger than mine. Everyone is different, and that's amazing. My body does not determine my worth as a human. It allows me to experience life, to express myself, and it works like magic every single day to keep me alive. And that's the truth. I believe that as the truth because it is the truth, right? What other people think of me is none of my business. It has everything to do with them. I am worthy, I am loved, and I'm perfect just the way I am. So that could be your new story. That was my new story for a belief that I had to change around my body image. And you will need to revisit this time and time again. You don't just think of a new belief and be like, oh yeah, I'm done now. It takes the inner work. It takes the coming to your journal every day and being like, right, what is one of my limiting beliefs? Is this serving me? Is this serving my emotional, spiritual, and mental health in any way, shape, or form? And if the answer is yes, are you in victim mode? When you're ready to get out of victim mode and be joyous and be happy within yourself, let's look at changing it through this thought model, not the thought model, through this APS model that I'm sharing with you, because you are the creator of your reality. And it ultimately comes down to a choice. So do you choose a reality? Do you choose the thoughts for yourself that are going to bring you happiness and joy? Or are you going to choose thoughts that are going to bring negative and heavy feelings? Again, that's up to you. So take responsibility for your thoughts to create your future. You know, you can learn from the past, but there's no point dwelling on the past because the past is the past. We as humans move forward in our life by how our past has conditioned us. And unless we stop and look at our beliefs that we're dragging along with us, like we're dragging along our past, like in a heavy rucksack. Like it's time to take off the rucksack, open it up, and be like, right, what the fuck can I get rid of in here? Because this is like too heavy right now. Sometimes you might not want to let go of something. That's fine, but I'm completely making this up in my mind. If you've got a water bottle in your rucksack, right, and it's really heavy, and this water bottle is full of limiting beliefs about your body image, if you're not ready to chuck the water bottle away from your rucksack, which is your brain, your limiting beliefs, can you at least empty some water out so it's a little bit lighter? And then you can be ready to eventually get rid of that bottle. Because even though it sounds strange, the things that keep us small, the things that keep us upset, our body image, our diet struggles, like we see that as ourselves. So even though we know we'll be happier if we can get rid of it, sometimes we can't just get rid of it because it's part of who we are. And again, it is a little bit entwined with victim mode, but it's all about taking baby steps to where you want to become. I did have a bit more I wanted to say, but I have to go because I have a lovely coaching client waiting for me. And I've just seen your responses, Kirsten. Let me just quickly read them. Yeah, I had my boobs done and I wasn't happy either. We are beautiful exactly as we are. So I hope this has helped. I will, when I repost this video, I'll write down the journal prompts that I've talked about, the APS approach, so you can do that yourself. And I have something exciting launching in September. So go to the pre-launch list if you want to know more about it. It's all to do with self-care and self-love, loads of stuff around body image, loads of stuff around building up your self-worth, around loads of mindset shifts. I'm going to be giving worksheets away. Let me know if you want to be the first to know exactly what it is. And I will see you there. And I will also see you live again here on Wednesday. So have an amazing day. Thanks for those that watched. And I love you all. And I've got to go for my coaching client. Love you. Bye, Kirsten, if you're still watching.